Hi guys, welcome back to Sticks and Stones Woodcarving. I'm Kevin. Remember the drawing we did with the marshmallow on the stick? I think that's a great idea. I'm going to try to attempt to do one, but I'm trying to find out what kind of wood to use. I really don't want to waste a piece of cottonwood bark for this, so I'm thinking of just cutting a little piece of wood from any kind of wood, whether you have pine or whatever. I believe this is sycamore. But what I'm thinking of doing is just leaving it flat on the back so it's easier to carve, and kind of shaping it out with my chainsaw to get that marshmallow shape. And since it's a hardwood, it'll really hold when we make the stick. So I'm hoping you guys can see this. I'll try and get a little more light on the subject. But pick a piece of wood, make it flat on the back for now. It doesn't have to be totally round right away. And we're going to see if we can come up with some kind of version of a marshmallow on a stick. Let's give it a shot. What the heck? Okay, I put this piece of wood in the vise, and I thought the camera was taping when I did it, but it wasn't, so let me just tell you what I did. I got my battery-powered saw, and I shaped out a little block here, and tapered it from the bottom up and the top down to start forming our stick. Okay, I got my Dremel here, and I got a Typhoon bit in it. You can use a Cuttle Extreme bit, whatever you like, a die grinder with a bigger bit. But while it's in my Dremel, I'm going to try and shape this piece of wood out, and try and get that block shape in the middle, and try and have a stick tapered down from the top, and we'll try and get a stick tapering up from the bottom here. I'll probably use the chainsaw more for that, but for now, while this is in my Dremel, I'm going to try and shape this little block I'm working on here into pretty much a marshmallow shape. It could be square, it could be cylindrical, whatever, you desire. It's your marshmallow. I'm just going to try and attempt it and show you pretty much my version of what I'm thinking of anyway, and try and come up with something similar to the drawing that we made. This right here is going to be our challenge. Everyone on this channel, or other channels if you'd like to join, it's fine with me. Definitely you can join the challenge. Just put a comment and say I'm in down in the comment section, and what we'll do is we'll go through everybody's marshmallows. You can submit them to me, and we'll work out the challenge as we go, and the best marshmallow on a stick, I'll give a chainsaw carving away to. Okay? That should keep us busy for a while. I don't even know if I can make one here, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I'll show you guys, pretty much everything I'm doing. And hopefully it'll give you some ideas on how to go about doing yours. Now this right here is a hard piece of wood. I'm not sure if it's sycamore, which I think it is. It could also be a little cut off of ash. That seems to be what I have the most in my yard at the moment, in my log pile. I just grabbed a sliver of it and it's cut flat on the back like I showed you. But it's kind of harder, so it should work pretty well for not breaking, as long as I don't make the stick too thin. And I'm just shaping it around right now, undercutting it on the top and bottom, and trying to come up with a marshmallow shape. So, tell me you're in the comments, and we'll get started with our challenge. Okay, now that I have kind of a block in the middle and a starting point for the stick on the top and bottom, let's look at our design and try and get it on the wood. So I got a thin little marker here. I'm going to keep checking the design and see if, let me get a darker marker so you guys can see. That's a little better. And I'm just going to refer to the drawing and try and put some basic features on this guy, and get him to kind of look like what we made in the drawing. You can use transfer paper for this also. Yeah, that ought to do it. What can we use to carve this guy out? Okay, the easiest thing I can think of to do something like this, since the carving's so detailed, small wise, is a cone-shaped bit. This is from Dremel, and I could even use a smaller one if I like. I'm going to use the standard size. It's an 1/8" shank. You can get it at the hardware store. Every store should have one, guys, and stick it in your flex shaft. And we'll be able to at least etch in all the details. Might be able to do most of the carving with this. I'm not going to use too many other tools, I think, on this, because it's going to be more the paint job to make him look cool than the carving part himself. So this is an easy way anybody can do this. So let's see how it works. the great thing about this cone-shaped bit is it's going to burn as we etch with it. And that's pretty much what we're doing, but it's definitely carving, alright? But see how dark it comes out? So we'll be able to take any finer detail carving, and if you're a beginner, this is a great tip for you. You can go around this whole design and burn it and carve it into the wood, especially if you're using a hardwood like this. And it's a pretty easy way to get your first carving started, so don't be afraid to join the challenge, okay? So I'm just going to go around with that little bit, and pretty much got my marshmallow etched in. Now I'm going to take Kutzil Extreme Flame Burr, and we're going to go around and try to shape it more with this bit. Alright, now that our face is on, let me show you how I hold my Dremel quick. I just got a little 4x4 post here, and this is movable for me. I don't even have it anchored to anything, but I suggest you anchor it down. But I just move it from side to side when I need it and just stand it up against my jaw horse. Right, and that's pretty much how easy it is when I want to do a Dremel carving in my jaw horse. I just move this to where I need it, and it's that easy, okay? I just stuck a nail in it, and I put my Dremel on top of the hanger. Got my flex shaft all ready to go, and if I need it to not move, I'll anchor it to the bench with a clamp. That's all. Okay, I have the Kutzil Extreme bit back in my Dremel, and I'm gonna start taking this down and making him look more like he's on a stick. You can use your die grinder and a 1/4 inch bit for this. You could use your chainsaw. I'm using the Kutzil Extreme Flame Burr in my Dremel, and I'm gonna try and make it look like there's a stick hooked through my marshmallow here. The bottom's a little thicker, so I'm probably gonna use my battery powered chainsaw on that to take it down. And once I get it to a point here, I'll cut this off. There we go. And we can make this look more like a branch by playing with it, or we could just shape it into a point, and that'll be sufficient. And on the bottom here, I'll draw some lines about how thick I want the bottom. Okay, now let's see if we can come up with a type of branch sticking out so it doesn't look too boring. And we'll figure out about how long we want it, and we'll get our Dremel back out and we'll set that in a little bit. And then we'll probably take the chainsaw and get a lot of the bigger, thicker wood off on the bottom. But right now I'm going to take the Dremel and try and carve my spots out where I want the branches to stick out on our stick. Some guidelines here for the chainsaw. You can always shape it as we go. Alright, time to put a couple of more details on. Again, I'm just looking at the drawing that we drew in the earlier video. And I'll give them some drips and try to make them interesting and not just square. Okay. Going back to my cone bit here, and I'm gonna go around it and burn some of the drips in and any other features I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm probably going to shape it more with my chainsaw afterwards, and when I'm painting, I don't know if I'll show that or not, but any adjustments that I have to make, if I don't like them, you know, I'll shape them a little bit more with my knife before I paint. Or the Dremel. Whatever it takes to get them to look like a marshmallow. Right now I'm just kind of burning all those lines in and giving myself some guidelines. He'll put his mouth in, and his little dangly thing in the middle of his mouth, his uvula. I think I'm going to airbrush this guy and try and get a soft effect with the paint, because it's kind of hard to make him look like a marshmallow. It's more of a challenge than it looks like. But again, using the cone bit, you can put on any drawing you want. If you can get the drawing on the wood, I think you guys will be okay and have a lot of fun with this. So I'm going to play with it and see if I can accomplish what I'm going for anyway. Now it's time to get the chainsaw out and get that bottom stick shaped out. Takes a little finesse for this, that's why I use the hardwood. And this is my battery powered steel. It's got a dime tip bar on it, 1/4 pitch chain. And it's a very delicate situation, but it's working pretty good. like it. I think we could do something with this guy. Definitely not liking the way he looks. I'm probably going to take my knife after all this and shape him more into a square shape, make him look a lot more square and fix the bottom. But that's pretty much a good start. I clean them up with hand tools or whatever I need to later. I'll just keep putting some burns in here and cleaning up around the stick. He's just about done, and I'm going to have to hold him in my hand to really shape him more like a marshmallow, but whatever you got to do, you got to do. And I'll clean him up, and once he's painted, I'll see if I can get the effect I'm looking for with the paint. Really use just the cone bit on this whole thing, except for Kutzel Extreme to shape the stick in places. Okay, we're going to have to cut the stick off here, and then play with some paint. I'm going to get the airbrush out and square him off a little bit more. He just doesn't look right to me. So here's the effect, and here we go. We now have a marshmallow on a stick. After painting him, he still looks a little bit more white, or needs a little white, I guess, but that's what I came up with, guys. Let's see for the challenge what you guys can come up with. It was definitely a fun challenge. I enjoyed making the video and making this guy. Hope to see everyone in the next video, and take up the challenge, see what you can come up with.